Hey, Smarties, don't forget, we are doing a massive giveaway, $500 to a lucky listener. All of the details are in today's show notes. We can't wait for you to hunt for some Mickeys and maybe win some prizes. Coming up, we are talking about those large groups, multi-family, multi-generational trips, lots of friends, lots of chaos, and how to best manage all of the expectations so that there are no meltdowns.
How am I going to get my group of 8, 10 people on site?
Rent a 15-passenger van, paying parking for multiple vehicles.
Or multiple Ubers.
Hey y'all, it's LJ here, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Now, here's your host, Allie.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. I am your host, Allie. I'm here today with my buddies, Stacy and Katie. Good morning, ladies. My friends, what are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Today is kind of first day of school take 2 for me because Tally started a new preschool. Everything's going smoothly.
You know, I'm all about giving Smarties a window into our reality. You know, there is no puff piece here, okay? And we were just dying laughing because Stacy was setting up and we were trying to get in our Zoom. And I'm like, man, we've been doing this for 2 years. We've got over 100 episodes. We literally love doing this. It's so much fun. And we've formed such a great relationship with our Smarties. And we've gotten so good at some things. And other things, I'll speak only for myself. I'm like, man, I'm still such an amateur. And 2 weeks ago, we were recording. Stacy's messing with her mic and she's asking us, we're setting up and she's like, do I sound okay? Does this sound better? Does this sound better? And we're like, ooh, move it a little back, move it a little forward, twist it. I'm like, twist it just a hair. Yes, that.
Yeah.
You sound amazing.
That was the hilarious thing. Like, yeah, that one's it. That's
That
it.
one.
That's better.
Yeah, that one sounds the best. Oh, wait, can you move it back a little bit more? Oh, that sounds even better. Yes. So we did this whole thing. I'm like, Stace, you sound awesome. Literally, we finished recording and she sends us a screenshot. She's like, y'all are full of it. My mic wasn't even plugged in.
The whole thing. The whole thing. It's the episode where, I mean, really going to pull back the curtains here. It was the episode where I was like, yeah, my voice doesn't sound that great or my mic doesn't sound that great because I was at my mom's house and it was just a whole thing. And then we struggled. Well, I'll say I struggled again this morning just because I have to move all my stuff every time we record. And anyway, it just takes a minute. But here we are.
We're here and we're so excited because I have a lot of experience in this area. We're talking about large travel parties. So this can be groups that you've traveled with, your large family that you've traveled with. What kind of family did y'all grow up in? My family is nucleus of 4, right? 2 parents, 2 kids, very traditional, son, daughter. I have a brother, that's it. And typically the vacations we took were just us 4. My grandparents lived in Florida, so they would go to Disney World with us, and we would be visiting them when we were in Florida. So they were around a lot, but typically our trips were a family of 4, very traditional family of 4, and that was kind of it. And as I've become an adult, you know, my family's bigger than that. I've talked on the show, I have 3 kids, so my family's 5. But not only that, we travel with my brother's family, my parents, we travel with aunts, uncles, cousins, we travel with my whole dance studio. So it's very rarely the 5 of us.
We're also a family of 5, right? Like I have 3 little girls with my husband, Matt, but I'm actually from a big family growing up. So I was the third of 7 kids plus both of my parents, right? So traveling as a family of 9 is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And did not happen terribly often for us growing up. Like mom and dad tried their best. We had a lot of beach trips, a lot of family suites and trying to get multiple rooms and all that kind of thing. So it can be a lot to plan with those large families. I mean, even if you're just over that nuclear 4, just bumped up to 5, then it changes a lot of things.
Katie, you and I are both right there at that sort of annoying level of 5 changes just enough at Disney World to matter. It disqualifies you in just enough ways. But Stacy, I mean, obviously I know, and I think most of our Smarties know, you're even a little bit more difficult than that.
Yes, I have been called difficult more than once, but that's okay. So my childhood, it was just me and my sister, but we also traveled a good bit with grandparents, and that was always nice. And definitely nothing ever fancy, and I feel like rules have changed. I think I'm old enough to where we could just pile a lot of people into hotel rooms and and it didn't really matter fire codes and such. It just we kind of crammed everybody in.
They
But
weren't such a thing back then.
I guess it's probably nothing to joke about. But so now I do have 5 children. With 5 children, we did have the situation where we often had to get adjoining rooms or connecting rooms, I should say. We also travel with family still, it's like you have more kids, you need more help to travel with you. So, and it kind of got to the point where it's like, well, we already have to get a second room. We might as well throw in 2 more people and, fill it up. So, yeah, it's definitely some experience that I have that I now see as being quite useful.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
also at the point where you're either traveling with a massive group or just 2 people.
Yeah, it has turned into that for sure. Yeah.
You really have. In the time I've known you, you are either taking a big trip with a lot of people or you're taking a trip with just you and
Yeah, because
Donnie.
it's hard to pick who I'm taking with me. Am I only going to take 1 or 2 people, or
Yeah.
or do I invite everybody? So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you always want 5 kids? Did you always know you were going to have 5?
no, 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 no. It's kind of funny. Like I said, I had just me and my sister, and then my husband Donnie, he has 2 sisters. So I grew up with just the 2 of us. He grew up with just the 3 of them. We both kind of pictured our families being one or the other, having 2 or having 3, and it turns out we had 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So we we were not expecting that in the very beginning, but gosh, it has been such a fun ride. I love our big family.
It's so fun.
Hmm.
You ever watch that show Brothers and Sisters? They have 5 siblings. They make it just look like it is the most fun ever of all time.
Hmm.
That is one I don't know.
Text
I didn't
me
know that
text
one
me
either.
later. I'm gonna send you it. You're gonna thank me.
Okay, yeah.
Those of us from big families are like, we already lived it. We don't really need the show from it. Like I said, I'm the third of 7. My husband, Matt, is the fourth of 6. And so whenever he and I met online, that was the trigger that made me connect with him. I was like, oh my gosh, finally somebody who would understand the big family dynamic.
Yeah, it is different. I for sure knew we wanted 3, and thank goodness I had twins because the newborn phase, I was just full transparency, newborn was really hard for me.
Mhm.
And after 2 newborns, there's a chance I would have had a hard time going for a third newborn. And I really wanted 3 kids. So I am always so grateful that 2 came at once and I never had to cross that path. And I got my 3. It was perfect.
To me, it is interesting how you have these plans growing up. You do kind of picture it being what you've experienced or the polar opposite of what you experienced. It
Yeah.
seems like people have one way or the other. And my oldest daughter, she started dating a boy who also was a family of 5 children. And it was really a great fit because I was like, they kind of understand the dynamics already. So you don't have to introduce, maybe this person who was an only child or something that's has a totally different experience. And they did end up getting married. And my son-in-law is actually a quintuplet. So his family of 5 children was even still different from ours, but just a really fun little trivia tidbit I like to throw out there every once in a while. Hey there, Quince. We talk about you a lot. Sorry.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I don't want anybody to ever feel like their family has to be excluded from something really great, no matter the size. And planning a trip to Disney, especially with a large family, I mean, large family complicates everything. And I'm saying family, but it's really large group is what I mean, large parties, because like I said, it is so rare that it's my little nucleus 5 that are traveling together. My parents are there, or my brother and his family are there, or our friends that our family are there. Every single trip we take, it is never just us, ever. You don't have to be excluded from any sort of magic when you're traveling with a large party. You just have to know how to do it the best way that you possibly can. So we're going to drop some tips today in every different category you could possibly feel like you need to pre-plan for and think through when you're traveling with large party when we come back. Hey Smarties, did you know that just by listening to this ad, you can save on renting baby equipment from the #1 baby gear rental service across the US, Canada, and beyond? Of course, I'm talking about BabyQuip. When we're traveling, it is just life in a new place, but I don't have beds for my babies or even a high chair for them to eat in. And when we don't have our things, we do not have our rhythm, and it can make it really difficult to enjoy our vacation. Look no further than BabyQuip. With a wide range of baby and toddler equipment available, including cribs, strollers, car seats, toys, and more. BabyQuip helps give us some of that normalcy our kiddos crave and the peace of mind we need. When they are happy, we are happy. All products follow strict cleanliness and safety protocols, and they are there to ensure that you can really enjoy your vacation. Whether at a home, a hotel, a vacation rental, or whatever you're calling home for your vacation, you never have to worry. If you need it, they have it. BabyQuip is available in over 1,500 cities, making it accessible. So whether you're going to Disney World or Disneyland or some other travel destination, BabyQuip will have you covered. They have an easy-to-use online platform for quick reservations and easy customer support. So head to babyquip.com and use the code SMPOD, that's SMPOD, you can save $30 off of any order of $150 or more. That's SMPOD at babyquip.com. Pack light, travel happy. Welcome back. Before we jump back into today's conversation, let's talk about this giveaway that we, the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast team, are hosting. If you are a smarty who always listens to our podcast, you know we've always tucked a little bit of extra magic into every episode. We are talking about the hidden Mickeys, those fun code words we sneak into each episode. And so many of you are always asking what they're for and if we'll ever consider including you. And now we are. Here's your chance to turn those hidden Mickeys into a little extra magic for your next Disney vacation. We're giving away a $500 Disney gift card to one Smarty just for listening. That's right, $500 to a Smarty just for listening like you already are. So here's how you're going to enter. Listen to the latest episode on Spotify to find this week's Hidden Mickey, and then submit the episode title and the Hidden Mickey code word in the submission form found in today's show notes. That's it. Just like that, and you could have 500 extra magical Disney dollars coming your way in the form of a gift card. But that's not all. You can also go back and listen to older episodes that are archived right there in our Spotify library and submit those Hidden Mickey and episode titles too. Each correct code word equals one more entry to win. The more you listen, the better your chances to win one of our prizes, including that grand prize of a $500 Disney gift card. You can find all the details and the submission form in today's show notes. All right, today we are talking about 7 topics that are really important when you're planning a Disney vacation for a bigger group. We're talking 5+, as well as how to navigate those vacations that are large families or multiple families traveling together. This could be a group setting, this could be multi-generational, any circumstances that are pulling you into a larger travel party. We're going to talk about it starting today with the one that I think is the most puzzling for people. It is the first roadblock that stops the planning process is accommodations. You're thinking about where you're staying. You are already eliminated from some options in some capacity, depending on how your family looks or your travel party looks when you're traveling with a larger group.
At Disney, we seem to find that it's not the rollaway cot situation, which I love as a parent, right? Disney does have those fifth sleeper rooms, which is fantastic. So if you are a family that maybe you don't need a whole family suite, the fifth sleeper option can be a little more economical for you.
You're kind of eliminated from the best price at value when you're a family of 5. We're specifically talking 5. We're going to talk larger as well. You're looking at Port Orleans Riverside usually being your best option as a family of 5 with that fifth sleeper there. Caribbean Beach, usually not much more, honestly, kind of a better value for the location.
Yeah.
And those are going to be your best options. And then the deluxe will also, a lot of the deluxe resorts will have a fifth sleeper too.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people don't realize just because it's not labeled a fifth sleeper, those deluxe rooms do have a fifth sleeper that's built into the couch, something like that, right?
Some, not all. This is why you need your Smart Moms agent, right? Because Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom Lodge, it's 4. It's so annoying. It's 4. I've lived that life.
but several of them do accommodate 5, and I gotta say, that's a good bang for your buck too for a family of 5. My kids loved staying at Yacht Club. That was, like, their favorite thing.
Yeah, definitely. So you're automatically eliminated from the value resorts that are the standard ones, All Stars, Pop Century, Art of Animation, unless you're going for a suite. But economically, if you're looking for how do I save the most money, and the reality is that Port Orleans Riverside, which is usually going to be your least expensive, it's also usually going to be available the latest. Like you can usually book that resort fairly easily, and you can usually find it under promotion. It's almost always included. It's almost always available. It's a great go-to if you want that on site.
When you're a larger group starting to talk with a Smart Moms travel agent, one of the things that I will just suggest early on when you're preparing that conversation is already knowing how you can configure your larger group. I know we're talking about 5 right now, but because we're talking specifically the numbers of these beds and these accommodations, knowing how you can split up your group, rooms are going to fit either 4, 5, or 6, or then you're gonna be getting into
Villas.
villas and bedrooms, like a 2-bedroom or villa or 3-bedroom villa. So, if you're just talking about your standard type rooms, you need to have your families broken down into groups of 4, 5, and 6 to help figure out which resort was gonna fit you the best. And there's some families who you can mix and match cousins and siblings and grandma with kids, and, that's a really important part of it where you might not have to have, if grandma and grandpa are gonna be in a room that is gonna sleep at least 4, but they don't have to have the room to themselves, and you can throw a couple of kids over in there, that's when you can really start making some little adjustments in how you configure your families to really make it work. But just knowing those denominations, I guess, or whatever the mathematical word would be.
This is the hot tip that I think a lot of people don't know about connecting rooms. You said 6, 5, 4,
Mhm,
right? Those are going to be the easiest standard. If you have a family of 4, you're probably, and we're talking specifically for saving and economical good
mhm.
decisions for your wallet, right? The least
Right, right.
expensive you can go because there are always options that are more, but
Absolutely.
yeah. Best bang for your buck on that end. Families of 4 will fit value. Families of 5, I mentioned. Families of 6 are typically going to be looking at the family suites, All Star Music, Art of Animation. If you're a family of 7 or 8,
Mhm,
and I'm specifically saying Stacy's family, right? 2 grown-ups with all minors, 5 children or 6 kids even. Most people don't even realize this. You can get a guaranteed connecting room situation. So 2 rooms for your family that are going to guaranteed with a connecting door, all slipped into one package as though it were one room. You can only do that with 2 adults. If you have 3 adults, 1 adult or 2 adults. You cannot do that if you
mhm.
have 3 adults. So it's a great tip for a larger family looking to go to Disney World, stay on site in the magic, but also save a little money. So
Yes.
that's I think, a hot tip that a lot of people don't realize. And then you get into good neighbors, vacation homes, things like that, which not my favorite way to go. It just isn't. I want to be in the magic. If you're taking a multi-generational trip to Disney World, you're going to be spending so much time with your family in the parks, at the meals, doing those things. If you need to stay separately at night, probably not a huge deal, right?
Yeah, I agree. The family vacation home thing, it might be a good idea for some people. Sure, I get why that's appealing to people to do those vacation rental homes and everything. But whenever I'm thinking about how am I going to get my group of 8, 10 people on site on Disney every day, I'm
Mhm.
like, nah, forget it. I would rather just stay on property. The
Yep.
transportation component of it is what's
Yeah.
going to make it harder.
Yeah, so I have lived this. We have absolutely stayed off property in a rental home, have a really nice time. One year in particular, it was Thanksgiving week, and we had our Thanksgiving meal together, and it was really nice, and it was the right choice for that situation and that week. However, it did not save us money. We also had to rent a 15-passenger van. I say had to, but when you're talking about how you're paying parking for multiple vehicles, if you're all trekking
Yeah.
over to the parks and everybody has to pay,
Or multiple Ubers.
yeah, I mean, it was really adding up. So we all traveled down together. We live in Alabama. We're driving to Disney World majority of the time. We leave our vehicles at the home. But then we rented a 15-passenger van to load us all up. So we only had to pay parking once. We all stayed together. We traveled together. And it was tough. And I'll tell you, I've got a sister in law. Hey, she's probably listening. She does not like to stay till the end of the night. And when we have this one vehicle, this 15-passenger van, she's stuck. She's stuck there. So when we do the house thing, it's like I said, it's not even really saving a lot of money.
The house thing is going to come with too many cons, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There are very
Yes, so
specific
many.
needs that may make it worth it. But again, you've got the options for all the different family sizes. You can request close and connecting rooms for larger groups with multiple adults. I've talked many times about when I took my dance studio down, I think we had 17 rooms at Caribbean Beach and we were all in the same building. Like it was just one
Awesome.
sidewalk path around all of us. And it was so much fun. My gosh, just the best ever. We had that pool day at the CBR pool. It's so much better than anything we could have
Yeah.
imagined, which this is going to lead me into our next category, which is tickets and park strategy. Stacy, you said my sister-in-law doesn't want to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the deal. The best strategy I can give you for a big party is do not make everyone stick to the same agenda the whole time. Go ahead and make it a conversation at the earliest part of planning that these are the things we are going to do together. And then everything else is filler time for you because ultimately everybody wants to have a good experience and a good vacation. And
everybody's spending a lot of money.
yeah, and it's going to look really different to a lot of people. If you all go in and say we all have to do the same thing, somebody's going to be missing something they wanted to do and somebody's going to be unhappy. So again, when I went with my dance studio, we said we're all going to rope drop Remy together. That's one of our together things. So we all stood on that bridge at Epcot. We had so much fun. We took so many rat cars around. It was so many of us. And we said we're all going to ride Guardians of the Galaxy together. So we were in a huge huddle. That was back when virtual queue was still a thing. So we stood in a huge huddle outside on the lawn at Caribbean Beach, all with our phones ready and just grabbing virtual queues. And we crushed it, you guys. Like,
Yeah.
we did so amazing. And we rode that together. So, and then we did a castle picture. We were like, be at the castle at this time for the photo. And then all the other time was you go do this, you go do that. It was awesome. The moments together are great memories, but also everybody has memories of doing the things that meant something to them.
Yep.
I think this is so incredibly important. Whether you're traveling with even if it's just my family and another family, it doesn't matter really your group size. If you are traveling outside of, with anyone outside of your household, there needs to be very open communication all through the planning. This is my must do thing and everything else is kind of gravy. And you have to have clear communication and expectations. Otherwise, you're going to have drama.
Yeah.
Yes. If we could say one thing to set you up for success is exactly what Allie was just talking about. Set clear expectation and communications. Let people go do their own thing. Don't be so controlling that you have to all be together.
Large parties almost always yield drama, right? Like we've all had that circumstance where we're arguing with the in-laws or we're arguing with the friends and it's uncomfortable because just don't let that happen. Like you do your thing, I'll do mine. These are the we things, right?
Yep.
Which leads to another tip. I think a park hopper with a large group is really smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about multi-generational, and Stacy, you do that a lot, so you can add a lot of that. I'm going to keep kind of throwing some large group tips in here just from my big trip with my studio because I think it's really helpful. I think people take large trips with friends and things like that. We got park hoppers. So like a set of us started in Animal Kingdom when other people really weren't interested and they started at a different park. And then we all met. We were like, okay, let's do our thing. And then we're going to meet at noon at the castle for the castle photo and do Magic Kingdom together for a bit. And it just allowed for less drama again. Nobody fought. Nobody had a single argument because everybody had the flexibility to do what they wanted. And having a park hopper usually doesn't increase your cost that much, especially when you're already spending so much. It's worth considering to make sure everybody can do the things that they want.
For sure.
Exactly. Because you're going to have your different personality types. You're going to have your early risers and your night owls, and the flexibility of a park hopper allows you to do that. But I need to go see Phantasmic. I have to be at Hollywood Studios today. Of course, everybody needs to be at Fantasmic. Let me put that in there. But the opportunities will come up that somebody wants to do something different. Katie, your word expectations, I already had that like written huge on my paper, my notes here. I was going through the notes that Becky had written up for us last night. She also has expectations. You've mentioned expectations. I think that is the key word for this whole concept here.
Yeah, these are the me things, these are the we things. When I went with my brother's family and my parents, the we thing was we're doing a dessert party. At that time it was enchantment, but after the fireworks, and then the park was still open. So my brother's family wanted to ride Haunted Mansion. We wanted empty park castle photos. That's fine. We split up.
Yep.
No big deal, right? So we things, me things. And how do you live symbiotically with a group is by allowing people that freedom, give people that freedom. Another good tip, lightning lanes with a large group are going to be difficult because availability for 10 could be very different than availability for 4 people. And then also lining up your times. I want to ride Space Mountain, but your kids are scared of Space Mountain. You know, maybe you're riding Winnie the Pooh at that time, but then we both need to schedule the next ride at the same time. So you're going to need a ringleader in your group that is really good at strategizing if you're planning on using lightning lanes.
No, you need 2 ringleaders,
Right.
honestly.
Yeah.
So I agree so much with this. Now, I also can tell you it can be done, and we did it very well, but it does take 2 people understanding the app, understanding the process, and being able to do it. The early 7 days ahead of time, getting your first pre-selections works pretty well. There's usually enough availability if you're doing yours as your window opens, right? You know, all of this is really, you got to kind of be on top of it if you're doing a big group. But the tricks do come in when you're in the parks, just like Allie was saying. So my recommendation and experience has been have a division of 2 groups. I'm going on a group of like 15. I think we were 15, 17 when we counted the babies. Your lightning lane will only do 12 at a time max. And even that kind of maxes out the system and stresses it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So dividing up into smaller groups, considering, I know we have rider switch coming up as a conversation. I'll go ahead and throw that in there. Instead of actually having a switch, we divided up with the idea of, okay, you're going to watch the babies while this group goes, and the other group is going to watch the babies while this group goes. And it just takes some real strategizing, but it is possible. And I think really awesome to use the lightning lane system with a large group.
Yeah, it's just patience, linking up, and knowing that it could be difficult. If you have a group of thrill riders versus non-thrill riders and then trying to line your next time up, the reality is, as people are using lightning lanes differently in your party, it may be true that you only get a couple rides together. That just might be what's true. So setting that expectation, again, expectations. Another just really a couple quick tips. We'll move on to the next group of strategies here. Add rest days, stay on site. And then, you know, if you're doing your own thing in the parks, make the rest day where you're all at the pool together and you're doing that dining reservation together. And share PhotoPass. You can link and share media with your friends and family in the My Disney experience. So if you have 3 packages, only 1 package really needs to have Memory Maker on it. That's just a good tip. Don't go buying 3. You don't need to. You can media share. Disney broadcasts that. That's not even a secret. I just think it's a lesser known strategy. So share media with your friends and family.
I would say the only time that there would be a caveat to that is if someone else in your group is the point person to be, I bought the photo pass, so I'll save all the images. If that's not you and you are a very type A person that you want to download all of your pictures without any watermarks on it, like right now, then go ahead and invest in that. But otherwise, as long as you're linked up as friends and family in the app together, you just need 1.
Yeah, I'm the polar opposite. I'm like, Katie, you got the Memory Maker, right? Can you just send me all my stuff so I don't have to do it?
Yep.
Well, and it is true. You know, sometimes there's grandma and grandpa are paying for the trip and they're kind of the lead guest, and we throw all the money things onto their package, and then they're the ones with being able to see it without watermarks, and yet they don't know how to do the download and sending it to everybody. So you do have a few little things, you know,
This is why you need that Smart Moms agent. I'm telling you what, I never put the Memory Maker on Grandma and Grandpa's package ever.
That's right. That's right.
I mentioned on your rest day, enjoying a meal together. I'm going to use that as our segue here into the next category. We're going to talk about dining with a large group. That is a very tough pill to swallow for some people because we're traveling with 15 people. We all want to eat together. Tables for 15 are going to be hard to come by, right? So here are some good dining strategies for your large group. First of all, if you do want to eat together and you have 10 plus people, there are very few restaurants you're going to be able to secure a reservation for 10 people. There are a few. I don't want to say it's impossible, but dining is like Hunger Games and it's very difficult and it is happening very fast and reservations are going away and the app is glitching and oh, I had that. It is not. This is why, again, why you need an agent, because it's terrible if you have to do it on your own.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say never, but rarely are you going to find, especially every reservation that you want for a group of 10 plus, even 9, 8, honestly.
Yeah, that's hard.
It used to be that you could just assign a different lead guest to a reservation within your account. Can't do that anymore. So the best tip ever is you need 2 logins, 2 people trying for your group's dining reservations when you're planning for a large group. So if Katie's family and my family are going together, we're immediately 10. I'm going to make a reservation for 5 for the same time. She's going to make a reservation for 5. And we're going to have 2 reservations that equal 10.
Yes.
And that's how you're going to strategize dining for large groups.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're planning together. And of course, you have 2 different reservations for the same time. Whenever you approach a cast member and you say, hey, can you seat us together? A lot of the times they'll try to accommodate that. I won't say that that happens every time. But if you show up with your large group of 10 early and you say, hey, we have 2 reservations, is there a possibility of us being seated together? They will often try to accommodate that. Again, setting those expectations, not necessarily guaranteed, but more often than not, the cast members are there to help you.
Yeah,
And you really
exactly.
need to choose your 2 reservation number counts the way that you want them to be if you do not sit together. You need to have it where the babies are handled not by the teenagers, right? You don't, I don't know, maybe you do want that. We actually have said, hey, y'all need to see how fun it is to feed your cousins here.
Yeah.
So
I love
it just
that,
depends.
Stace.
Yeah. When you're making your decisions, you may not necessarily want it to be 5 and 5. You may want it to be 7 and 3. No, you wouldn't want it to be that. But you know what I'm saying. Okay, don't make me do math this early in the morning. But you may need to break it up to where you're thinking logically about who's going to be together. Count the number of people, who you want it to be. It doesn't have to be split halfway down the middle because
No, it does not.
I want to be able to promise you that if you go early, you can sit together. But this is logistically, it just doesn't work all the time.
I have a couple of examples. I went with a group of 11 when we did our multi-generational trip, my parents and my brother's family. And I went with another group of 11 when we did a cruise last spring break, and that was my family and a bunch of friends. In both instances, we made multiple reservations in the accounts, just like we're saying. Here were my experiences. At Via Napoli, we requested to be seated together and they could not accommodate. But what they did do was go above and beyond and seated us at 2 tables right next to each other. And my parents sat with all 5 grandkids. They loved it. And then my wife and I and my brother and his wife, we all sat at one table and got to just have a little bit of adult time. It was awesome. And we were right next to each other. So the kids were kind of back and forth, but not a nuisance or anything like that in the restaurant. So I would say Via Napoli was a good experience for us. 50's Primetime Cafe, not such a good experience for us. Unfortunately, those tables are like mini kitchens. They really can't be moved around. And they could not guarantee our tables even in the same kitchen area, same room. And they weren't even really trying to be accommodating. So I would call that one a really bad restaurant for a group. Sci-fi dine-in.
Sci-fi is the worst.
That's
Don't do that one.
horrible. Not good for a group unless you just want the experience of sitting in a car and you don't care to sit in separate cars because that's what's going to happen.
If you don't like your family, go to sci-fi.
Yeah. Couple good experiences. Citricos. They seated our group of 11, one massive round table in the middle of the room. No questions asked. Super easy. Really great. And Cake Bake Shop. They were able to get us in with no reservation. Walk up, 11 of us, and they gave us a private room.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Whole long table. So just kind of knowing which reservations are going to be able to be accommodating to maybe seating you together. Like, hey, maybe we can move these around, make it work for you, or at least sit you next to each other. And which ones it's just impossible to anticipate.
I'll add to this too. For obviously for a lot of the lounges on Disney property, there's no way to make reservations for most of those. But I have been impressed by how several of the lounges can be accommodating to large groups. Like we have walked up to Enchanted Rose, whether it's the afternoon whenever they're just starting or it's the end of the night after Magic Kingdom is closed, and they have been able to accommodate a large group of maybe like 10 to 15 of us. I've experienced that at Enchanted Rose a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. Trader Sam's even got my large party in. That was just good strategizing.
That's impressive.
Yeah, there were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of us. And we sat around the table and it was awesome. And we were crammed and they were reluctant, but they did it. So just knowing what might be possible and what's just not going to happen is really important.
Yeah.
2 accounts, really good. And again, setting expectations. We may not sit together, and that's going to have to be okay. Steakhouse 71 was bad for us too, if you guys remember. We had to have those 2 tables. They wouldn't remember. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't consider that bad. I mean, we were close enough. I mean, how much are you really visiting with each other if you're just down this really long table anyway? You're really
Yeah.
only talking to the people right in your area anyhow.
That's exactly it.
So I didn't figure like it was that big a deal.
Fair enough. Mobile ordering, which is your quick service dining, that's going to be a little bit more difficult again.
Okay, so I feel like this is definitely worth a little bit of a discussion. If there is any type of teaching about what you want to do with your family, this is it. I feel like everybody in your party needs to know how to make a mobile order so that you can use this to your advantage.
Yes.
And you need to do it early. This is really a strategy, not when you're, oh, look, there's ABC commissary. Y'all ready to eat lunch or no? Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, let's go on in. Let's see. Well, and then you have to figure out if you're going to do mobile ordering or not. You can go through and just everybody walk through the line. It's totally doable that way. But mobile ordering is going to make you all so happy, and you need to all know how to do it. Our family is, if they are old enough to have a cell phone, they are old enough to do their own mobile ordering. We do it in line for a ride. While we're standing in line, we're near where we know we're going to be for lunch, and we look ahead and everybody's like, okay, you have a window of opportunity. When you're in the app, it shows you, are you ready for it to be from 12:15 to 1:15? And everybody says, hey, is this the window everybody sees? And you all pick the same one, and then you all walk over together and get it. It is possible. And those areas do seem, I'll use ABC Commissary, for example. There's not assigned seating. There's not reserved seating, I should say. And there are really big open spaces for you to all sit together. So I love that. ABC Commissary is easier than I know. We love our Rosie's All American and all of that down there at Sunset Boulevard. But that seating outdoors is very tough to find large groups together.
Yeah.
Yep.
To piggyback on that, I love Woody's Lunchbox. Don't do it with a large group. Just don't. Even they have added the seating area there, so it's more. It's still very congested and hard to find a table. I'm usually that mom with my 3 very rowdy kids holding a tray full of food and just kind of standing there looking desperate, and someone will eventually be like, ma'am, you can have my table.
But that's what you've got. You've got to rely on the kindness of strangers there. I mean, it is really so packed.
It's true. And the other thing too, if you have a picky eater, oftentimes ordering a mobile order for food in the app, you can't always. I'm thinking about sometimes I'm like, I don't want this thing on my food and there's no way for me to remove it on the mobile order. So then I end up having to go through the line anyway. So again, just to set proper expectations with a large group, if you have picky eaters or any kind of concerns like that, be aware of those things.
Yep, absolutely. Great tips. Woody's Lunchbox gave me trauma when you just mentioned that. It's literal. It's like lunchroom. It's like junior high lunchroom trauma, standing with your tray, begging for a seat.
It truly
is. It's tough. It's
It's
tough.
not good. It's not good. Yeah.
But it's yummy.
So it is. It's fine. I'm starving now too, by the way. Let's talk about just multi-generational trips in general, because I feel like that is such a common trip type. We've already covered about the we versus me thing and kind of planning ahead. But one thing that people are always asking me, what if we all want to ride something and one kiddo isn't tall enough? Rider swap. Make sure you're well versed in rider swap before you head to Disney World, and make sure you know that it is an option. It is so easy to do. It is a very simple offering that Disney has. Can feel really scary before you go. Like, I'm not going to know what to do. But the first time you do it, you're going to think to yourself, oh, that was so easy. And it's going to make your trip way better. So basically, with Rider Switch, you just go up to the front of the line. There's a cast member there. You let them know all of us want to ride. We have one kiddo that's scared or too small to ride, and they will simply scan the Magic Band or key card or Magic Mobile, whatever you're using as your park access. They'll scan that for an adult and another, like one other person in the travel party to get to go again. So if one of my kiddos isn't tall enough, I can wait back. You all can ride. Then everybody comes back and I get to ride with one other person in the party. And the second group of riders gets to go through the lightning lane. So basically your whole group is only waiting one time that everybody will get to ride.
And see, therein lies why we did not use rider swap, because it was like a competition of who was going to get to be the person to ride again.
Who gets to
And
go
so
twice?
we just said, you know what? No rider swap. We're just dividing up into two groups. When this group goes, the other group holds the baby. When this group goes, then we swap that way.
Yes.
My kids are all very adventurous riders, so we do everything. Back in the day, though, my twins would not be tall enough for the same things all the time. And I would wait back. My wife would take our oldest, then I would go. And my daughter was always my oldest was the person that got to go twice. We've never had that issue, Stacy. So now I'm thinking to myself, oh man, that would be it would be impossible. There's no way we would get to, use it at this point.
This is key with the two large groups. We always had a lightning lane. We did not go through two separate groups through standby. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
It was a lightning lane situation where everybody was both groups were able to go through the lightning lane. So that is a point that I had not made that is really important.
I also want to point out, we've said it on different episodes of the podcast before as well. Get to know the lay of the land. Like, go on the My Disney Experience account, look at which rides are close by each other. And if you are that group that's waiting on a rider swap, you are not beholden to just stand there outside the ride with the baby.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
If the first group is on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, take the baby over to Winnie the Pooh and go ride Winnie the Pooh while they're doing that, and then swap. Or if the older kids are going on Soarin', I'm going to take my baby on Living with the Land for a little bit, right? So
100%.
Yes, use those rides that are nearby one another to even make more value in your time while you're waiting during a rider swap.
Absolutely. Definitely, go do something. You're right. Go over to Peter Pan, take the little one to Neverland, do something for them, and then hit up the rest of the family so you can ride. And for any Smart Moms travel agents listening today, the hidden Mickey will be Neverland. Multi-generational means you're going to have lots of wheels. Strollers, wheelchairs or scooters, lots of wheels with you usually with these larger family multi-generational trips. So that is something to keep in mind when you're picking your resort, especially. If you have a stroller and a scooter in your party, I'd be really thinking about bus only resorts, because and driving, staying in a house, that's going to be really complicated. How you getting the scooters there, the strollers there, packing up, awful. Yeah. Really thinking about the budget and thinking, how can I get on the Skyliner or the monorail? That will make a huge difference in your trip. We've traveled before and a large group that wasn't even multi-generational, and we had 2 scooters in our group. And already that meant that our group had to take 2 buses because we were at a bus-only resort. And so half of us would get on a bus with a scooter, then the other half, and it could be 15 minutes between buses. So then we're getting to the parkway differently.
Right.
Yep.
Knowing those things, planning for those things, and thinking about them way ahead of time. If you got a big family, you probably got a lot of wheels. So knowing what that means for getting to the parks is going to matter.
Yeah. I will say they have updated a lot of the Disney buses now that they can accommodate at least 2, sometimes 3 scooters on a bus.
You're also assuming that your party is the only one with a scooter.
That's exactly it. You're going to be waiting with other families who may also have a scooter. So anytime you're in a situation with a scooter, especially, strollers are also a pain on buses, but scooters especially, I highly, highly, highly recommend take that monorail, take that Skyliner, get on those resorts.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Good tip. That's going to bring us to transportation then. Transportation, we kind of touched it. Disney buses are a great option if that's economically what makes the most sense for your large party. You're probably going to have buses, so it's fine. Think about, though, when you're considering staying off-site versus on with a large party, how you're getting there. I know we touched on it, but I want to just reiterate how difficult it can be. If you've got 10 people even, are you renting 2 cars? Are you doing 2 Ubers? Are you renting, like Stacy said, that 15-passenger van? Then are you all stuck in the same place for the entire day to the same hours? What if a baby is melting down? What if grandma needs to go back for a rest? It's too hot. Accessibility matters. That is going to be what's most important. Think about your specific large group. What does the accessibility need to look like? And then strategize out from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say, if you're planning with a large group, You need to think first about capacity for rooms, but also you need to think about who do I need to be making accommodations for?
Mm-hmm.
If anybody needs a scooter, you would be crazy to stay off site with a scooter. I will go as far as to say that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
Yep.
disagree. Yeah. And with a large group, I mean, so many people say, no, there's so many of us, so we're just renting a house. I'm like, what about every other aspect of your vacation?
Yeah.
How are you doing
I
every other
know.
thing? What about the airport? Let's just touch on that really quickly. A lot of large groups flying in. Magical Express, I'm still mourning the Magical Express. I loved it. I thought it was the start of the vacation. I know it took a while and it would stop everywhere, but I loved it so much. It's gone. So you're looking at multiple ride shares, a shared shuttle service that still exists, or we did splurge once and rent a limo bus, and it was literally the greatest start of a vacation we've ever had. We fit so many of us in there. They were jamming out with music. My kids were drinking water out of champagne flutes. It was so fun.
That's hilarious.
Do you think that Disney just keeps hoping that we get to where nobody remembers the Magical Express anymore? That they're just
I
like,
will
oh,
never.
if we just keep waiting, they won't remember that this
Uh,
exists.
I mean, maybe that's their hope, but I'm here to say that this podcast will always remember the Magical Express. I will never stop reminding people because it was amazing.
You could get multiple Ubers to your resort then from the airport. You could rent multiple private cars. But do you think that just, hey, everybody, we're just going to hop on the bus like the Mears Connect or, something like that? Do you feel like that's probably the easiest option if you want to keep your whole group together?
Yes, I do. Especially if you don't want to take a splurge. Like I would never do, like I said, that limo bus thing we did, that was a one-off. It was a birthday. A couple of us went in on it. It was a special circumstance. The normal circumstance is going to be that shared shuttle if you all want to easily stay together. We've taken those as well. Totally fine, totally comfortable. No need for a car seat or booster seat, which is another huge perk.
Huge.
Yeah, huge.
Although if you are going to need a car seat or booster seat, you could always rent that from Baby Quip. I feel like we are really preparing our smarties for a large trip. These are the things you have to know. How you're staying, how you're getting around, how you're park strategizing, how you're not going to have family drama. We have enough family drama in our lives anyway when we're planning like Thanksgiving, let alone when we're planning the Disney trip.
The other really important factor whenever you're planning with a large group, whether it's a couple households, couple like friend groups, whatever it may be, you need to look at the timeline too of when you're booking, right? Like you can't just pull together a whole bunch of people at the last minute and be like, "Hey, we're going to go to Disney next month." We can, make that happen a lot of times for people, but you're going to get more value out of your trip if you book it early. So, if you think that there's any possibility of, "Hey, our family wants to get together for a multi-generational trip," or whatever it may be, whatever your group makeup may be, try to make those plans as early as you can so that you can get those deposits down. You can, stay in the same area together, hopefully, and have the best shot at dining reservations. There are so many perks to booking early, no matter what your group size is. But I feel like that's especially critical whenever you're planning with a large party.
Great point. Want to talk about packing for a large group? What kind of packers are you guys?
I never want to talk about packing. Can I just say that? As a mom of 3 little girls, I never want to talk about packing.
We have a really good system in our family. We have Disney bins because we go all the time. So we pull out the bins, get out the relevant things that we're going to need on this trip, some things that we use on every single trip, specific bags, wallets, things like that. And then get out the shirts that are going to be relevant for what our plans are, anything new we got, things like that. And then I am the packer. My best tip, and I've given this to so many clients that I've worked with, the Ziploc bag method. I love a packing cube for myself, and I will organize my packing cubes pretty well for myself. When you have a lot of kids, the best thing you can do for yourself is the Ziploc bag method. I do it by day. Monday is Magic Kingdom. I put all of my kids' Magic Kingdom clothes in one bag. I label it with a Sharpie, Magic Kingdom Monday. They're getting a little bigger now, so sometimes it takes 2 bags, but I still label it. And then that morning when we wake up, I just grab the bag or they grab their bag. Everything they need is in it. And it just makes things so much more smooth. Getting out of the room in time. You're in a time crunch when you're at Disney World. So my best tip for a large group, especially with a lot of kids, plan what you're wearing every day ahead of arrival. Put it in a baggie, label it, done.
Hey, speaking of planning our clothing, I know some of you, Allie, totally go into your outfits choices and have it very photo ready. And I really love that too. I think having group photos together with everyone looking nice in your outfits together is really important. But when we get to a group of 15, we do one day where we kind of try to wear the same shirt or,
Mhm.
something that's really super coordinated. Usually the Magic Kingdom day, we're in front of the castle. But all of the other days, we just have color assignments.
Oh, cute.
And we'll kind of pick it based on the park. Like we'll do greens and yellows at Animal Kingdom because it's going to go with the big tree. We'll pick blues at Magic Kingdom, or we'll even pick grays and blacks when we're at Epcot because it kind of goes with the giant golf ball kind of thing. And that makes it so much easier for a large group who not everyone really is into picking out their outfits. They can at least throw on a t-shirt that's going to coordinate. So that's just
Mhm.
a little tip that we do.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It just makes for a cohesive photo when you're together. It's not matchy matchy, but it looks nice.
You look like you belong together.
I get neurotic
Yeah.
about, looking like we belong together. It really depends on what's going on in y'all's brains. I took
Mhm.
some friends. Like I said, we take all kinds of different group trips. So this is an even different trip than I've talked about so far, but we took some friends. Between us, there were 2, 4, 5 adults and 7 kids. That was our mix. And I, was the Disney crazy lady that planned what we were going to do every single day. We were all coordinated. It was mandatory. So much so that for the 5 adults, I bought us inside out shirts and I had like
You wore your shirts inside out?
no, my party pooper friend, I made her be sadness, and I was joy. We took lots of pictures together because she was doing the, I have to take my kids to Disney trip. And I was like, oh, we love Disney. I'm so happy you're here with me. So I get really into it. You're right. But colors is a great
Mhm.
idea for people that aren't as neurotic as my wife and I can sometimes
You know
get.
what else we do as one of our days every year or every time we have our big family trip? We also have a team day and we have totally different team fan groups in our family. And we do not coordinate that day other than it's just everybody's in their team shirts. But that is such a fun day because it's a large group of us walking down and like my whole group has their big Bama shirts on and we hear roll tides all day long.
Mhm.
And then we have those family members who cheer for the other teams. But
That's so funny.
we outnumber them. So
I've told our Roll Tide story on the pod before, but for any smarties that don't remember it or haven't heard it, Stace and I were in the park together and we were in Epcot. She had a Bama game that night, so she's got on all her Bama stuff. We were in Morocco and we needed to get to the Skyliner, get on the Skyliner and get to freaking Oga's in the back of Hollywood Studios in 10 minutes. So already that's not happening. Like already we're clearly very late. Let's go, let's go. And we're going. And Katie, I think you were there. Like there was multiple of us. But
Mhm.
we're trying to walk really fast. We're like, we have to go now. And
Yeah.
Stacy, wouldn't you know, she gets stopped by a Bama fan and she starts talking to them. And we're like, Stacy, nothing. Stacy, we're screaming. We're like almost, I'm like, Stacy, nothing. Not even turning around. We're all yelling
Nope.
her name. I look at our friends and I'm like, Roll Tide. And she's like, Roll Tide. Looks at us. I'm like, oh, you can hear. I'm like, walk this way now, lady. And so
yeah,
she's
I did not hear my name, but I heard that roll tide.
and the way she stopped conversation, arm in the air, Roll Tide. I'm like, oh my God, walk this way immediately.
Guilty.
I will say going to Disney with Stacy is hilarious because she will run into someone she knows every time we're together. It doesn't matter if she coordinated it or not. She is going to find somebody to talk
Yeah,
to.
totally. Yeah, exactly. Or it's just like another Bama fan and they know each other,
Yeah, yeah.
Bama fans.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys do laundry on vacation, by the way?
No way.
I totally do laundry on vacation. And here's why. I was always one of those people that's like, I am never gonna do laundry on vacation. That sounds crazy. But then you get home and gosh, if the Disney blues weren't enough, now I have an entire amount of laundry that I have to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Disney, like they make it pretty easy for you to do laundry while you're there. Like if you're staying at, I don't know, Art of Animation, the laundry room is right there by the pool, right? So we'll just do it on our rest day and I'll go and I'll do all the laundry, I'll fold it all up, make sure it's all nice and neat. And by the time I get home, I just have to unpack it all. And I'm like, I'm so glad I did that.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is a great strategy. I guess I was thinking, and actually, we have done that before, but I was thinking if you were asking, like doing laundry to rewear clothes so that you take less clothes,
Good
and
point.
that's too much stress that you have to get it done if or you will not have an
Yeah.
outfit for the next day. No way, no way would I do that.
I would never do
Yeah.
that either. And I have done what Katie does, but my rule of thumb is only if the washer and dryer is in the room. So the villas at Disney World will
Mm,
have washer and dryers in the room. I will
Mhm.
do preemptive laundry, just so it's done before I go home, but never because I
yes.
have to. So when we were at Aulani, the Disney resort in Hawaii over the summer, we had been gone for a really long time. Our trip was super long. We had started at Disneyland. Our room at Aulani had a washer and dryer. So every night I would throw a load in. It was no big deal while we were hanging out. And then I came home with a whole suitcase of clean laundry. It was great. So I use
Yeah.
it for the same strategy as Katie, but only if it's in the room. Last packing and prep tip, probably coordinate your grocery list. If you're going to be doing any sort of grocery delivery, which a lot of people do, don't go buying like 10 boxes of granola bars. Make sure you know what are the things that lots of our kids will eat, what are the things that only my kid is going to eat, and try to go in on that and split the cost. That way you're not leaving a whole mound of things outside your room when you leave.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll throw in a little tip that we have done with our large groups is we would buy bulk snacks that we were taking into the parks each day, and we would like to have it, pretty organized. And I would set them up in one central spot in one of the rooms, and we have these big Ziploc bags, the little sandwich bags or gallon bags or whatever we would do. And everybody would come in every morning and they would go grocery shopping with all of the snack options right there and pack it up. Because there were years before that when the kids were little, is I would go, oh, let's make this little snack packet for Monday. And I would label it, this is Shane's, and it was for Monday at Magic Kingdom. Then I would do another one for Tuesday and Wednesday for all of my 5 kids. And that got really old. So doing the bulk, taking it there or having it delivered now, back in the olden days when my kids were little, we didn't have grocery delivery, but anyway, that's my little tip. Go ahead and let everybody do their own little snack bags.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep, that's a great tip. Especially then it'll alleviate some fighting over snacks, which my kids will find anything to disagree about. So,
Mhm.
okay, let's just do kind of a wrap up here. Some smart tips.
Mhm.
We already said setting expectations, managing stress. Those are going to be the biggest things to make everything we talked about is going to help alleviate the stress and manage the expectation. But let's just remember these things. Communicating everyone's must-dos before the trip. Don't wait until you're there to tell everybody that riding Winnie the Pooh is high on your list because nobody else is probably thinking about it. Have that arranged ahead of time and consider the we versus me thing.
I love that. You just have a list before you even go. These are the we things and these are the me things. And the week that you
Mm-hmm.
go, you say, okay, this is the time for the we thing. Everything else is
Yeah.
gravy.
Yeah. And don't be the person in the group that like goes and does the we thing without the group because you were just like, then you're going to have drama, right? Stick to it. Do the we's together, do the me's alone. Understand you cannot do it all, especially with a large group. It's just, you have to be okay with that. You're not running through the park with 15 people doing every single thing. You're just not. Handling meltdowns and overstimulation, it's already overstimulating enough at Disney World.
Yeah.
And then you add a lot of people to it, it's even more so. I just personally wouldn't subject the whole family to my toddler's meltdown. That's when I'm like, hey, y'all go do this. We're going to go get a Mickey bar. We're taking a minute and we'll meet up. Like, text me when you're finished with that. So,
Yeah.
separating a bit, handling the meltdown. Don't make everybody handle the meltdown, even if it's an adult meltdown. I've been known to have those.
Well, sometimes it's just, grandma and grandpa came for the morning and they're great, but now it's getting hot and they just need a break. Let grandma and grandpa go back to the room. Let them
Yeah,
drink coffee on the balcony at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Let them just like
Yes.
relax and enjoy. You don't have to be together the whole time. Yeah.
not at all. And have a backup
Yep.
plan if things don't go perfectly. And I would almost say that the backup plan should be to go with the flow.
Yeah. Go with the flow.
Please don't be like at 9:40 we're riding Pirates and the backup plan is to ride the Jungle Cruise. No, 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 no. The backup plan is to go
Yeah.
with the flow. When being with multiple families, be okay, giving space, we already said that, and allow for changes to happen. Don't be the person that's like, no, we have to do it this way because we always said if everybody's vibing a different way and you get there and people are saying, wait, we'd really love to watch the parade from Main Street and enjoy, custom popcorn instead of going here. Relax, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Allow for change, allow for magic. It's still there, even with a large group, if not more so.
Yep. You have to be flexible. Flexibility is so key in a large group. 100%.
Yeah, totally. Okay. I feel great about those tips. I feel like you are all so prepared to get with your Smart Moms agent and plan a large group now. So much strategy goes into it, but now you have the hot tips. Let's listen to Friend Like Me. You know, we recently had a Smarty join our Facebook and say, I've been a longtime listener and I just now looked up the Facebook group, which we're so glad that she did. We love that you're in there, my friend. But if that's you and you're a listener and you still haven't clicked in Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast on Facebook or Instagram, go do it now. Give a listen to these other Smart Moms travel agents that are our friends. They're doing their thing. Follow them too. And then we're going to be back with the lightning lane on the other side. Hey there, Smarties. We know planning the perfect time to go to Disney can feel very overwhelming. And if you're thinking summer vacation is the perfect time to get away with your family, you've got to visit our friend Katie Estrada in her Facebook group, Planning Disney in the Summer. They're talking about where to find the coldest snacks, the special summer events and activities that you can find only in the summer, resort recommendations, including all the tips about Disney pools, which you're going to need in that summer heat, and the best ways to stay cool. Summer's a great time to go, but you need the best strategies, and you can find them at Planning Disney in the Summer on Facebook. Hey there, girl moms. Go to Facebook and join our friend Jillian at Smart Moms Planning Disney with Girls. She has 3 girls of her own, and she knows the ins and outs of going to Disney with girls. Want to meet the princesses? Let her and her 3 little girls show you the way. She has a teenager, a preteen, and a school-age little one. She knows exactly how to plan a great trip for them, and she will share it with you. She will have all little girls feeling like princesses. Have a little one that's not into princesses? That's fine. She knows how to plan all of the experiences for you and your little ones. That's Smart Moms Planning Disney with Girls on Facebook. All right. I'm feeling great about this. I want to go take a trip with all of you now. We actually are. We're doing a group of, how many of us? 7 coming up here in a few months. So that's considered a large group. I'm excited about it. Can I volunteer not to be the coordinator?
I know. When it's all of us, I'm like, hey, y'all are travel agents. Y'all do it. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to Danielle or McKinley. It's going to be like, okay, you guys, we're deferring to you.
Heads up, ladies.
This is your warning. Yeah, I don't want to be in charge. Okay. I just want all the places I love. How about that?
Yeah.
Here's our lightning lane. Are y'all ready?
Is our lightning lane feeling lightning laney today?
Yes. It's Katie, then it's Stacy, and we don't need any explanation. You just give us the answer.
Okay.
Which resort are you choosing for a family of 5?
Wait, who do you want to go first?
Katie, then Stacy.
She said Katie.
I didn't even hear that part.
I did.
I thought you said Katie and Stacy.
No, Katie, then Stacy.
Katie, then Stacy.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Here we go already.
Okay. All right. Which resort? Port Orleans Riverside in those royal guest rooms.
Wait, did you say royal guest rooms?
Do they sleep 5?
Yeah, the royal guest. Oh,
They don't sleep 5. No.
you're right.
Yeah.
Forget it.
See, Katie said that though because she had an under 3-year-old, so her family of 5 did stay there a lot, but now not so much, friend.
Yeah, sorry. I stayed there recently, but that was while my husband was at the work conference. So I'm still going to say Port Orleans Riverside, but
Caribbean Beach Resort.
Yeah, and I would say Caribbean Beach. Okay. How many days of tickets for a multi-family Disney vacation?
I would still say 4. You need at least each beach park at least once.
Yeah.
And I'm going to up that and say a 5-day park hopper. I think you need to have one cushion day to kind of make it work. You know, the things that you got to adjust, you need that extra day in there to kind of pick up where you might have had to drop something before.
Yeah, 4 or 5 would be my answer as well. Absolutely. What ADR are you making for a multifamily table service or character meal?
Whispering Canyon Cafe is my choice.
That's good.
Great answer. I bet they can really
really
accommodate
good.
it. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They absolutely can. That's a great answer. We've done Tusker House as a character meal for breakfast, and it is fantastic. Love it. Large group. They did well with us.
Yeah. I like that Whispering Canyon answer. That's a good one.
That may be like actually the go-to.
Hoop-de-doo review would be good too because you have to get your seating.
I mean, there's several things. Anything with a buffet, I think, would be smart.
Yeah, that too.
On a group trip, are you starting at Magic Kingdom or saving it for later?
If we're assuming that I don't have park hopper tickets and I only have 4 park days, I'm probably ending my trip at Magic Kingdom. But I would really lean into park hoppers so I can hit Magic Kingdom as much as I want. How about that?
Yeah.
You have to end a big trip with Magic Kingdom, Happily Ever After. That's the perfect Disney vacation.
Yeah, I would say start there because that's when the whole group is fresh and not tired of each other. And it's the park that's going to need most of your energy and patience.
Magic Kingdom is also the park that all the kids are looking forward to most, right?
Yeah. So you want to get them there and not make them wait. On-site or off-site? Can I just answer for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
On-site. Come on now. Or what park is the best for big families and groups?
Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
So much to do between rider switching, so much to do to appease and accommodate everyone. And now with Beacon Barrel, even a lounge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And best tip to make a great trip with 5 or more people and multiple families traveling together.
Set those expectations.
Flexibility.
Keep your mindset. Yeah. Keep your mindset open that everything will be good as long as you're willing to be flexible.
Yeah. Love it.
I would say the bigger your group, the more you need to rope in and one other organizer with you. So one group of 5, you can probably have just the one organizer that's really in charge of making those lightning lane choices, those type of things. But if you get much bigger than that, have somebody in there with you to toss ideas off of and support your decision making.
That's a really good one, Stacy. I like that. All right. That's going to do it for us on another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. We hope you're ready to book that large group trip. And if you are, hit the link in the show notes. You can plan with one of us from the podcast team. And until next time, we'll see you real soon. Is that pretty good?
Feels good.
That's good.
Hidden Mickey. Freak a chick.
I was going to say, we missed the hidden Mickey.
Can't.
Okay.
I feel
All right,
excited
feel
to
good.
listen.
Yeah.
I'm excited to listen because she said that.
You were there, you know.
Honestly, I know I record every episode, but at this point, I don't even know if I was on.
It's
Like,
so
I forget
weird,
what we
isn't it?
recorded.
It's such a weird, truly in one ear, out the other. Once it's done and move on.
You could
and I don't
literally tell
remember.
me that we haven't recorded Embrace Replace Magic Kingdom yet, and I would be like, okay, should we do that tomorrow?
I get it. No judgment. No judgment.
Yeah, me too. I'm so glad we got that in. Love y'all.
Love you. Bye.
Yeah, thanks for being so
Thanks.
accommodating.